Okay. I was actually having a lot of fun playing this yesterday, and I kind of didn't want to stop when I did, so I'm going to play a little bit more. Come on. Sorry, aside from starting recording, there are other things I manage. Okay. We're actually making some progress. I feel like I'm getting to the bottom of certain things and also starting up other little quest lines. We're in a situation where the bounty hunter that was after us is now potentially working for us. Maywick. That's a lot of days. But still, it can creep up on you quickly. Not too worried about that. I gotta wait for a ship to return so I can potentially get some scrap. I do want to build this still. I need to get past that gap. I can do one of these. She requires 3. What does this guy give me for 5 of them? A vial of stabilizer. Oh. No, I'm gonna do it for this. I like the doctor lady. And it's potentially another way to get stuff. As you turn away from the terminal, the final cache of Yadigan data uploaded, the air crackles with white noise. Sleeper, Sabine's voice, weaker than before, comes through the haze. This Sabine. A sigh of relief comes through the layers of noise. The call must be coming in some. The call must be coming in from somewhere on the station. This has to be short. I don't know if Yadigan are monitoring me. Their voice is hushed, distant. You try to focus on it. The data you've been bringing in from the Yadigan agents, there's something in it I don't understand. A shrill howl rattles through the signal. This data is all gleaned from their implants, records of integration with their nervous systems, performance analysis, error rates, usage data. I installed many of these implants, but I didn't enable any of this functionality. The voice dips under the level of the noise, like a swimmer slipping beneath the water. You listen to the waves for a few seconds before Sabine reemerges. Has to be somehow baked into their wetware's interface. And that's not all. The systems compiling this data are connected to some kind of transmission protocol that's being broadcast. Like, why? Every Yadigan enforcer is equipped with black market implants. Retinal enhancements, adrenaline boosters, pain suppressors. These implants are gathering data on themselves and the enforcers' bodies, on their performance. Why? I can't tell. But I can promise you these foot soldiers have no idea this is going on. The background tone switches, dropping to a grainy rumble. If they knew, I don't imagine they would be happy with the situation. Yanigan could have a mutiny on their hands. You lean towards the terminal, straining to listen to Sabine's faint voice. I need a few cycles to pull this all together. But this might be the information I need to pressure Yannick to release my dead. Suddenly, a banging echoes through the call. Sabine's voice is suddenly whispered. Panicked. I have to go. Come back in 4 cycles. Then a sharp crack of a disconnect. The silence fills the apartment. You step back from the terminal. What does Yanigan have to gain from monitoring its own members? You're trying to recall what you know about the gang, but you have little to go on. You think of Toshiro, Sabine's minder, his mirrored teardrop implant set below hard eyes. What data could they be gathering, and more importantly, where are they sending it? You reflexively rub your forehead, trying to think. Can you really trust Sabine? How did they come to be Yanigan's doctor in the first place? You think of their kindness, their care, but also that glazed look of recognition that they gave you when they first met you. That look stays in your mind as you slip back out of the apartment, glancing around you as you close it up and drift into the corridors of the station, unable to shake the unpleasant sensation of being observed. Dangerous. Right, I don't need him for energy. I don't have any of that. This is money and potential energy, but this is also safe energy for me too. The main thing I need right now is money, because I want to get across. I think a lot of the drives that I have, oh, that's right. I need to do the ship mine for them as well. That's right, this is dangerous. I have a decent amount of time. I would say double, but it's still not a lot of time. I definitely want high numbers to be able to do this. I'm going to do one of them. That's a good start. I don't have mushrooms. Okay. I'll do one of these. Because it's easy money. And I'll do one of these. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do this too. I just don't know if don't know if I'm gonna need dice. As you step out into the passageway, someone barrels into you from behind, sending you stumbling down the corridor. You turn to see an unfamiliar spacer, laden with heavy gear. She steadies herself, staring you down as if daring you to respond. Sorry. She adjusts the strap on her shoulder, holding up a hand in recognition before setting off down the corridor. I'm sorry for her. Eek. A second spacer smiles at you apologetically. She's on a mission, and when she's on a mission, they shrug. Not a problem. You're sweet. Peek! As she stands further down the corridor, glowering at her friend. She chomps at the air, pointing down the corridor to whatever end she's rushing to. Peek raises their eyebrow at you. Esh, please. Do you want everyone on the station to hate us? Just gonna call him Esh. Esh hardens. They want to hate us. They can hate us. She drops her hip. I'm not exactly seeing much love as it is. We're lucky we get through before they set up that damn cordon. Peak sighs. This station isn't Hawthorne. Everyone isn't yoked to the same corporate protocols. Esh sighs. I'm not saying they are part of the administration. She jerks her head in your direction. But I am saying we need to get these supplies to the Briar before someone starts asking questions. Briar, can I help? Can I help? See, Ash? Help. Isn't that exactly what we need right now? Peek. Ash rolls her eyes. Peek ignores her. We are with the refugees. The ones Havenage have cordoned off from entering the station. Ash interrupts. The ones that are being quarantined in makeshift vessels that barely made it to the Eye to begin with. The ones that your station administrators have called an existential risk. And are running out of supplies while their right to safety is being debated by people with no stake in their future. She quickly looks away, annoyed at her own outburst. Peek sighs. She's right. People are trapped out there, and... They turn to Ash. We understand that this is a big problem for the Eye. Hundreds of refugees and more ships turning up each cycle. They hold up a hand to stop Ash interrupting, but... Ash turns away, her anger burning, a palpable force in the closed quarters of the corridor. They need supplies, and after everything they've been through, a quarantine isn't helping. Peek finishes. It's difficult. Peek forces a smile. Peek, please. Ash gathers herself and the supplies. Ash, we need help, just like the refugees need us. We need others too, they smile at her. Peek turns to you. Come find us. The climbing Briar is docked out at the Broken Spoke, past the Greenway, in the wastes. We have a good view of the cordon, though we are keeping our distance for now. Come help us. They squeeze your hand. Ash turns to leave and Peek follows, waving goodbye. A moment later, Ash shouts back down the corridor. Don't bother coming empty-handed. You want to help? Show us. Bring supplies or don't come at all. And with that, they disappear around the corner. Ash already picking up at speed as Peek calls for her to slow down. A refugee flotilla? Where are they coming from and why now? Each time you think you begin to understand this place, something changes. Why does this area seem, like, dangerous? Mercy. What the hell? Is this place also cut off from that? I don't like that. Alright, I could be meeting like a lot of people here, but we'll see. So we have explain the grand like this is probably one of those things where like it'll help me know like where the shops and stuff are. So doing this is not a bad idea. Safe. They seem to both give the same results. One of them is definitely going to be easier for me. Alright, both track Ashton. That's a lot of energy loss. Gather scrap. Okay. Skill upgrade required. Which upgrade would be required? Would it be this one? Supply girls. Welcome to Episode Flux. Episode Flux is the first of 3 episodic updates to the Citizen Sleeper, telling the story of a refugee flotilla which has arrived in the Eye. All 3 episodes, Flux, Refuge, and Purge, are now available. Completing the Deliver Spores action will begin the episode, but be aware that it is intended for late game play. Oh god, okay. Okay, cool. Cool, and I have permanent access. Main goal continues to be make money. I got a 6, which is good. I enjoy a 6. Alright, I got a 2 remaining. Let's see what I can do with it. Definitely not that one. It'll probably be this one here. Alright, I have a better time doing this one. Hell yes. Yeah, I hardly need to spend credits for food anymore. Which, I'll take that as a win. Alright, got more good dice. I need at least one thing to get me money. Give me energy too. I'll do one of these guys. Cool, I didn't lose any energy. I only got one. Actually, I can easily just spend this. Now I've got a 3. Cool. Probably just gonna be a few cycles like this, but I'm okay with that. I need to watch the other countdown cycles too. If anything, I might even be able to spend a little bit of time earning money specifically. I really want to finish this. Okay, that worked out good. And I got money. Awesome. Let's see. Buy a shipmine fragment for 60. I can only buy 2. You and the merchants know these fragments are overpriced, but are they willing to admit it? The freighter crew, they'll pay wage to anyone willing to help them. Okay, well that's good. That helps with one thing. And then I want to see what I get out of this. That's a little rough to want to actually continue doing. Okay, first off, let's go here. 4 cycles, Sabine said, and here you are, right on time, with no sign of them. You wait a while in the apartment, the dread descending as the cycle spins onward. It should be here. You check and double-check the terminal for messages or recordings. Nothing. Just the pale glow, the silence. You pace back and forth around the apartment, the rumbling of the station suddenly so present and loud. You go to the door and open it to an empty corridor, close it again. Try to settle down, to wait. You sit on the bunk and stare out at the tiny room. Where the hell are they? A knock at the door. A figure stands in the door, and immediately you know it's not Sabine. They are taller, sharper, and have something in their face, glints in the half-light. A dark shape, like a stubby baton, hangs loosely from her hand. Uh-oh. Our local sleeper. Good to finally meet you. She steps into the apartment, glancing around with sharp eyes. What, may I ask, are you doing here? She fixes you with a steady, unwavering gaze. Of course, a mutual friend of ours, the good doctor. She walks past you into the apartment, glancing around. We set them up here, you know. This place is one of ours. She picks up a glass from the dispenser and inspects it. People always seem to forget who put them where they are. She glances at you. And I suppose you're here to help? Good, good. She puts the glass down and turns to face you. I love to meet helpers. We need so many, but can find so few with the right skills. She spins the baton in her fingers by her side, her eyes not leaving yours. We have a problem, you and I. It seems our friend has disappeared, left without even saying goodbye, which means they are in a little trouble now. But it's the kind of trouble that you need help for, so I thought I'd come down here and take a look at their little hidey hole. And here you are, the help. She looks through the detritus on the side. And what help? A sleeper, no less. Which I have to admit is a little surprising. It suggests to me that her friend hasn't been very honest with you either. She looks away. Now, I know it won't be welcome news, but I'm sorry to report that before we got them set up here, Sabine was working for your owners. She pauses. S&R. You blink hard at the news, unsure how to take it. Rabia looks away, waiting for a response. I don't believe you. That's very understandable. She crosses into the next room, and you follow silently. She sits at the terminal and touches her baton to one of the access ports. A spark. Then the terminal screen skips, encrypted folders emptying themselves before your eyes. In the flicker of files, you see S&R letterheads in code forms. Reports laden with medical data, marked with the corporate logo, like the sigil of some cult. Rabia steps away from the terminal. Look all you want, some of your files may even be there. The volume of documents is overwhelming, but they seem to be mostly reports on early emulation tests, surveys with sleeper candidates, reams and reams of usage data. If Sabine was an S&R employee, why did they help you? Rabia reaches over and places a vial of stabilizer on the desk, breaking your concentration. It shimmers in the screen light, its viscous, clear liquid crystalline within the glass. We will, of course, keep up the supply. We are more than able to dispense important medicines, even without the doctor. You hold it between your fingers, and for a tiny moment, you have the urge to crush this object for the power it has over you. I'll ask Toshiro to make those a little cheaper for you. He'll be running the surgery now. Rabia closes up the briefcase lab and holds it at her side. We have to retrieve our assets, of course, but I'm sure you understand. Rabia turns on her way out. There is no reason for us to be enemies, Sleeper. Come see me. I keep an office nearby. We have good work to do, you and I. Meet me there in a few cycles. She slips out silently into the corridor. You look around the apartment and feel the fear drain out of your body to reveal the tiredness beneath. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this -1. So how much would the medicine be then? $20 cheaper? That's not bad. $20 certainly is $20. Okay, I want to see what this apartment thing is. Alright, with all the materials in place... With all materials, the unit now needs ceiling section by section to... the unit now needs ceiling section by section to be usable. It's a laborious task, but the outcome is worth it. not gonna inject the stabilizer yet either. I need that stuff to last. They are never going to release my debt. Shit. Ethan kicks at the locker. The sound rattles loudly around the room. Ethan paces around the small room, swearing to himself. You watch him from the locker room bench. Calm down, they'll do it. Ethan laughs. There's no way. He spits on the floor, an old habit. They like having sniveling little shits like us work their club. Stays on the overhead, and they get to boss us around. Kicks the locker again and swears. Some shit about getting back to me. I swear to God, these are the most straight-edge gangsters I've ever seen. He laughs at his own joke. I can't do it. I can't spend another shift stopping spacers, bringing nail guns into the club, or pouring endless shots of Garol for ignorant Havenage work crews. He looks at the locker again, threatening it with a final kick. I mean it. I'm gonna go up there and shoot every single one of those shits. He makes a finger gun. Hold on. Don't get all excited. I haven't got my gun, remember? He stops pacing, but you know, Sleeper, that's not a bad idea you have there. He ignores you. I don't mean shooting up the place, I mean getting the gun. He sits beside you on the bench. Think about it. What am I supposed to do when Maywick gets here? Shoot him down? I need that gun if you want me to keep up my end of the deal. It's simple. An explosive personality for a distraction at the front. He places a hand on his own chest. A sneaky sleeper to go in the back. He pats your chest. We've done our time, and the wounds they've faded. If they don't notice us take the gun, they'll never know it's gone. Plus, he stands up. After my distraction, they'll be happy to see the back of me. Either works. At least I never had to see the inside of this shithole again. He gives the locker one last kick. For good luck. Let me know when you want to do this. Then we both move as one. He meets up and meet up in the Bright Market after. But don't take too long, or I really will shoot this place up, he grins. You know I'll do it. So we have to rob the place? Danger. I want a 6 for that. Alright, it's 15 credit. Not ready for that yet. This is probably the best way for me to make money. Oh, that's awful. I'd rather spend these here. Cool. I mean, I'm not doing terribly for time. I'm completing a lot of this other stuff pretty quickly. Not a bad dice day either. Come on, give me a good one. Oh, I got a random scrap. I still don't have what I would consider to be a good dice for that. As you approach the address, Rabia gave you a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. What's your business here? The enforcer grips your shoulder, giving a hint of the strength her implants give her. As you turn, you see the same subsidiary eyes as Rabia and Toshiro, glinting like mirrors on her cheeks. Tia, please. The sleeper is here by my invitation. At Rabia's command, the hand immediately loosens, and an apologetic look replaces the scowl on Gia's face. Of course, Rabia, I'm sorry. Rabia waves her away. Don't you worry. I appreciate your protective instincts. She smiles at the enforcer. How about you head to the tambour? They have delivery coming, and they'll need some help with the lifting. Gia nods and walks away. So, sleeper, you came. I'm glad. I was curious. Curious is good. She smiles a tight smile. You have to understand, finding you there in Sabine's unit, I wasn't sure where we stood. There are more than a few people on this station who'd rather I was dead. I had to be sure you weren't one of them. I wish you no harm. I'm glad. Rabia begins walking and gestures for you to walk with her. She takes you down the staircase into the bustling walkways of the low end. What do you know about Yatagan? That sounds impressive. We run out of the low end? Yes, we don't run it. People with carts push past, moving crates of supplies around the thin and wandering passages. Our reputation is one that implies threat. Is it fair to say? We are framed as aggressors, parasites, criminals. The gestures surround at the people in the passageway, but when was the last time you saw a lawmaker on the eye? A policeman? Who makes the laws here? Havenage? Yes. They like to believe so, don't they? By claiming a lineage that extends back into Erland's Union. They assume the burden of authority, but they have no authority here. Out past the Bright Market, where few work in their shipyard, or pay for their docking berths. If you had spent your time in the low end, maybe your opinion of us would be different. This is our place, our people. The low end was empty in Erland's time. They didn't need to house thousands, and keeping the yards and the rotunda safe was work enough. No, the low end was reclaimed later, when the refugees started arriving. Rabia meets your eye. The collapse didn't just happen here, on this station. When Solheim collapsed, the entire system felt it. Colonies were abandoned, the moons of Ember and Cinder suddenly gained independence overnight. Some took advantage, some tried to hold it together, some fled. The Eye became a refuge, and Erland, to his credit, extended an open hand to everyone. But many within his organization agreed. Those new arrivals weren't as simple to corral as they'd hoped. Rabia leads you through a small market hall, busy with small stalls and traders. Erland's union was made of workers, administrators, people who were malleable and already organized into hierarchies and networks. The refugees came from different factions and families. Were scared, injured, desperate. Conflict was inevitable. Yanagon is a child of that conflict. A child born out of the need to stand up for and claim our future. To provide security, strength. People call us a gang, but we are a community. I take my position as lieutenant seriously, and from my birth, I have worked to earn it. Rabia catches herself before she raises her voice any further, and you both walk in silence for a while. Among the smells and textures of the low end, you start to wonder if this place could be a home for you too. Rabia smiles to herself and thinks for a moment before she responds. I believe that you understand the importance of a refuge. So, I also believe that you wish to help keep this place safe. She exhales quietly. For this reason, I would like you to trust me. I do not know what Sabine told you about us, but I imagine it was not good. I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I was never comfortable about having Sabine as part of the Yanagon. An ex-corporate employee goes against our nature. But their deal was with Yannick. I kept my distance. I made sure Sabine had their surgery, kept it supplied, that was all. But I cannot allow people to go back on the promises they made us. Yanagon has not lasted this long because it is a charity. We offer and ask for support. Any betrayal will be treated as an attack. They were trapped, desperate. Many on the eye are, Sleeper. I'm sorry, but we must ask that our debts are paid in full. Please, I don't want to hear hear their accusations. They only wanted to escape their debt. They would have said anything, but where are they now? To stand behind their claims. I'll find them. As will we. You realize that Rabia has led you in a loop, and together you both come back to the staircase, to the walkway where you met. You're free to go, Sleeper. I have said what I wish to say. She looks out through the windows of the walkway. I would protect this place with my life, as it has protected me. I want to make that clear. She turns back. However, if you, too, wish to come under its protection, I can help you. Return here if you wish, and there will be tasks for you to complete. You will be able to see Yanagan, to see the low end with your own eyes, and not as others frame it. As for Sabine, she pauses to consider her words. I will not ask you to betray them, but if they contact you again, consider their motivations carefully. With that, Rabia leaves, slipping back into her office, while you stare out at the countless units, each a home, each with a story, that make up the low end. So, I can work for them? Okay, so I have ways of gaining energy and potential scrap, which is kind of good. Scrap can mean money. And then, however you feel about Yannick, it seems working with Rabia is your best chance to get an insight into the organization. I wouldn't mind getting scrap. Energy isn't bad either. Okay, I have 3 left. Where do I spend it? Dude, look at this fucking energy protection there. Barter for food. The farming collective who control the stacks don't like to sell their food piecemeal, but for the right price, they'll let it go. I had first started playing this game, I thought it was like a little bit of a roguelike, but this is more involved than I had thought it was. I can't do anything that could potentially, like, reduce my energy. So I need to get energy first. Damn. Okay, so I have what I need for this. Should be a guaranteed win. The gun tucked safely in a pocket, you work your way down the stairs that lead up to the office. The doorman passes you and you exchange nods. It seems like you're in the clear. You hurry on, eager to get out before anyone spots anything. As you come down the main stairway into the front of the club, you see Ethan entering. He has a dark look in his eyes, which troubles you. He's reaching into the pocket of his coat, slowly, carefully. You catch his eye, and he raises an eyebrow. You shake your head. A long pause, then he nods and turns around, walking back out of the club. You exhale, not realizing you were holding your breath. Then you're out, without a single shout, without anyone noticing. You meet Ethan around the corner, on a quiet, bright market walkway. You have it? He looks nervous. I was about to start a distraction, like we agreed. He sighs. Just show me. You lift it out of your pockets, and it is colder, heavier than you expected. Ethan watches you take it out. Nice. Now, if you would, he beckons with his hand. A memory jumps into your mind of Ethan in the compressor, hand out, asking for his gun back. A memory followed by the memory of a sharp, dizzying pain. You flinch. Ethan eagerly grabs it and looks down the sights. He sighs a sigh of relief. Then he meets your eye and slowly raises the gun until it's pointing directly at your head. Not funny. Oh, shit. You still don't get it, do you, Sleeper? Ethan spits. When they canceled that contract, I lost everything. My reputation, my payout, any way of getting off this shitty station. Everything! All I had left was you, he grins. A naive little sleeper with a heart of gold. I couldn't believe it worked. And now, we're done. No shit. Ethan steps back a little, taking himself out of harm's reach. He slides the slate out of his jacket pocket with his other hand. Now to call Maywick. Are you crazy? You are crazy, Sleeper, for thinking I'd kill one of my own for you. But for what? Helping me wash dishes? He laughs, long and loud, and you hate him for it. He prods the slate. Done. He puts it away. Here. He's here, you know. On the station. I've been speaking with him. He tells me we can split the contract. Not 50-50, but enough of a finder's fee that I can get out of this shithole. He's lying. At this point, Sleeper, I'm not sure you are the one who I trust to spot a lie. He winks. Ethan glances around. I have learned one thing from you, though, Sleeper. In all our cycles working in that shitty club, he smiles. People never know when to cut and run. It's like they freeze in the headlights when the future is bearing down on them. They watch it coming, watch their death, flying in at a fraction drive speed. You had every chance, and yet you still kept on going, like some idiot robot, going through the motions, even when you knew you'd be crushed. He smirks. I probably should have known. And let me tell you something else. The shot enters through his upper back, and he crumples immediately to the ground. You drop too, without thinking, pressing yourself to the walkway floor like it might save you. Silence. You look up and see him coming down the walkway, silent, eyes alight. Maywick. You freeze in fear. Here it comes. You see it just by Ethan's crumpled body, the gun. You can't. You inch forward. You go for it. You run forward and a shot sounds out. You feel it ripple over your back, then your hands are on the gun, and you scramble to your knees behind Ethan's body and fire. You close your eyes, you fire again and again and again until the clip is empty and all that electric clicks. Then you drop the gun and stand up. You don't hear anyone running. You don't hear anything. Just hear the sound of your own breath. You start walking, stepping over Ethan's static body, walking along the walkway and then past Maywick, his eyes now dark, some mechanical fluid leaking from his chest. Perhaps the same fluid that's inside you. You try not to think about it. You keep going, and the sound comes back. The eye comes back. As it does, your heart, you hear the sound of thousands of people getting on with their lives, thousands of people who are just going to keep going until they can't anymore. You look up and all you see are the wheeling stars. They're spinning and you are suddenly dizzy. Though the eye has always spun like this, hasn't it? And you don't stop walking, you keep going. That's all there is now. The path forward. S and ARP have left you no history. No past to speak of, just a void that threatens to swallow you if you slow down. You think of Ethan's smile, his voice, and feel sick. Is it over? You aren't sure if it ever can be, but you are still here, and you can't stop now. There has to be a better end than this. Did I really just... Jeez. For a few chits more. You witnessed a lifetime of bad decisions catching up with someone. Sunbathed Ice Actions allows energy recovery at home. Yeah, why not? Okay, well, that's one less problem, I guess. God damn it. Alright, so it's a safe action. 1 to 3. It's just a way to get energy. Okay, cool. You wake from dreams of Maywick's amber eyes floating in a pool of dark fluid. It was difficult to get to sleep, and you suspect that isn't about to change anytime soon. Not after what happened. You also feel something else as you get up. Now, thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water like every morning. You feel something has lifted, something that has been hanging over you since you arrived on the station. You try not to think too hard about it, to question it. You just let that lightness stay. It settles as you go through your routines. Your hope is that if you don't focus on it, don't look at it directly, it won't get scared and leave you. That the lightness will stay for this cycle, and then another, and then another. Because after all that's happened, a little lightness would be nice. Am I no longer being chased by... Oh, well, that can't be permanent. Fantastic. Alright, I got a 4. Let's take it up into here. What's this? Ah, collect spores or Garol caps. Okay. I mean, that's good. I might actually have to spend some money to get some energy. It's worth it for Catan. Isn't there a place that wants scrap on this side? Yeah, I think it was wrong. Okay, I think I'm gonna take this. Damn, only one. And I'll take this. I think I'll also save that point. Oh, cryo actions are discounted by 20%. That wouldn't be bad to have. It's 80, that's minus 16. Yeah, I'm gonna save the point. And this is just a safe way to gain energy. Oh, it's just a place that I have like another home just out here. You head down into the Haifa compound, following a blue painted line that is labeled laboratories. The member you were assigned to work with told you that they'd asked to see you, but you still have no idea what about. The line takes you to a blue door, and through to a glass roof chamber where a network of stems and leaves filters the sunlight coming through the ceiling, casting the whole chamber in a strange yellow green. Peaceful, isn't it? Distracted by the green, you miss the woman standing on a lab bench, camouflaged by the dappled light. Welcome to my sanctuary. She smiles. Come, let's talk. He says and beckons you closer. Who are you? What is this place? Here? These were the processing centers for agriculture of the old corporate station. She offers a hand to shake. I'm Rico. I run the botany program at Haifa. Yes, the plants in the Greenway are vital to Haifa's continued existence. It's important we understand them. She lifts a tiny sample jar. Yellow spores dance inside. Haifa lives off the land of the Greenway. It's what allows us to live like we do. No one here pays or is paid. We sleep here, we feed each other, we work for each other. Rico walks away from the bench and waves for you to follow. She opens a small door and leads you down a glass corridor surrounded by a vivid green. All this, she says, gesturing at the overgrowth, it's a kind of miracle. She looks at you with bright eyes. What do you think usually happens to plants on stations like this when they're abandoned? They die. Eventually, yes. They cannot live without intervention. She leads you left at a crossroad, but here they endured. She smiles at herself. Actually, no, they thrived. You look at the bright tendrils wrapped around the metal frames of the corridor. They look dominant and strong, like they are taking control of this place. Rico continues. Of course, Solheim tried to create a stable biosphere here, patchworking the surface with gardens and algae tanks that feed into a network of microbial reclamation systems, but the Greenway was always envisioned as extractive, a place from which the harvest is removed and sold to those living on the station, not a closed loop. For this reason, when the collapse came, the Greenway should have gone with it. Erlin himself was so convinced of it that his first colony never even came here to try to reclaim it. The Eye instead relied on outside favors and influences, shipments from the inner system, and the small-scale agriculture systems like kelp and fungal farm stacks. Yet here we are, among growth and decay, a biosphere flourishing. When Haifa came here we expected to only find vacuum-dried stalks and leaves, and perhaps some fungal colonies hidden in the mulch. But we found a jungle. With this, Rico hits a button on the wall and leads you through a large pair of double doors into a huge, impossible chamber. It is every kind of green, from the pale algae tanks to the dark vines that surround them. It was wet, too, a rarity on the Eye. Condensation clouds the light from the high-glass roof and gathers on the shiny, broad leaves of shrubs. This is exactly our question. Rico turns to you, visibly excited by the room you're both standing in. It doesn't make sense, but in many ways the system has stabilized. Unlike the farm stacks closer to the gap, who need input to support their meager output, this place runs itself. Perhaps Solheim managed to put something new in here. Perhaps they tweaked the plants, or built new systems buried deep below us, or perhaps their collapse caused some fortunate cascade, an unlikely chemical reaction within the biosphere. That's what I'd like you to help me find out. She turns to you, her forehead wet with dew. Me? Yes, you. Rico sits on a railing. These halls run deep, Sleeper. I'm getting old. She stamps her foot on the metal grating of the walkway. Whatever is causing this, it's to be found in the groves deep in the Greenway. Haifa won't spare anyone for an expedition. It's too dangerous. And unnecessary, they say. I can make the case, but I can't get the votes. You sleepers are hardy beings. I know that much. And you can speak to the Eye, uncover its secrets, in ways I never can. She holds out an arm so you can help her stand. Bring me samples, spores, seeds, and blooms. I can grow them in the lab here and study them. The deeper they are found, the better. I'll try. Thank you, she smiles. And thank you for listening. Rico leads you back to the huge chamber, or leads you back out of the huge chamber and up through the passages. She is a little slower now and stumbles on the steps. You help her where you can. It's good to have a new blood in the commune, she says. Many of us have been here a long time. And few come through. She settles back at her bench in the lab, stretching her legs. You go to leave. Come back if you find something, Sleeper, she calls. There are discoveries to be made, and you follow the blue line back up out of the compound. All that time thinking of that impossible magical green. That's actually kind of cool. Deliver spores, of which I have none. I'm wondering if this is what this is for. Oh, that is awful. Yeah, I need to take it. 2 dice is not enough. Gross. Okay, I'm gonna end here, and I'm gonna play some Starfield. So give me a bit. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be right back. See you guys soon.